I've been saying a number of times on this channel that passing screening rounds in job interviews is pretty much a gamble. And in this video, I wanted to explain to you why and what can you do about this. So the first thing I'd like to talk about here is some of you choose to look at the screening round as a final interview. That is to prepare for as long as possible, as intensely as possible, as if it were, your final interview. Now, the challenge with this is that oftentimes you won't have time and sometimes even the motivation to do such a significant investment for the purpose of just a screening round. And what happens is you'll end up half prepped for a screening round. What happens with half-prepped candidates is that they tend to lack confidence and their answers tend to be a bit more scripted, unpolished, if you want, and the chances are you won't make a great impression. Okay, now this brings me to my next point, that screening rounds are about impressions. So definitely look at screening rounds as impressions, because you should understand that employers do screening rounds to basically minimize the risk you're going to waste their time during a final interview round, right? So you can make a great impression with a great elevator pitch if you want. You can make a great impression with a well keyworded CV, for example, or you could make a great impression with a great referral, right? With someone referring you for the job, and this would all significantly improve your chances to pass that screening round, and I'm thinking here as compared to someone who really put as much effort as they could into preparing to going the traditional way to prepare an interview, such as behavioral interview, but even the technical part of that interview. And the other thing that pays really well in these screening rounds, and not only screening rounds, is to understand why, to listen carefully as to why the question gets asked, because most of the time these employers will have a set of minimum qualification requirements, right? So to go to an extreme, are you hands-off or a hands-on PM? Okay, and I don't know, you could answer a hands-on and they would say, no, I'm looking for a hands-off, okay? But they wouldn't tell you, they would continue their interview and so on. So in that specific scenario, by the way, my recommendation would be, if you don't know what to say, both. I can be also hands-on, but also hands-off, 50-50 or something like that. Just optimize your chances to pass that screening round. So long story short, I found that, given the fact that screening rounds are about impressions, and you cannot really control your chances or significantly improve your chances to pass screening rounds, maybe something else for you to consider would be to try to line up as many screenings with as many companies as possible, instead of focusing or spending too much time on preparing to pass them, and maybe last but not least, I do have people whom I work with even before their screening rounds start, and to prepare the traditional way for a job interview, because preparing seriously for a job interview takes time. Remember I said in the beginning, a half-prep candidate doesn't do well in interviews. So if you want to prep well, you should start early, okay? But you should understand the context of a screening round would be only to pass it, not to really demonstrate you are the most extraordinary candidate in the world or anything like that. However, you could also start preparing for the actual final interview during this time. So hopefully I make my point clear. I hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.